because you just can't. And it just blows my mind that people don't receive this. It blows my mind that not everyone asks. But it shouldn't. Because during his ministry on earth, Jesus told his followers, his disciples, he said, you know what? Not everyone's going to be like you. When I proclaim salvation, and after me, when you proclaim salvation, not everyone's going to want it. They might say they want it, but not everyone's going to accept it. In fact, Jesus gets even more specific, and I want to be even more specific with you this morning. He says in Matthew 13, verses 18 through 23, that there will be 4 main responses to the message. This morning at River City Church, there will be 4 main responses to this talk. That's it. Each of you will fit into one of these 4 responses. And if you want to study Matthew 13 on your own for your personal devotions later today, I would encourage that. And if you forget the passage and you don't have a pen and it's too dark to write, go to our website and under messages, there's a PDF, a written form of every message that's used and presented at River City Church. But here are the 4 responses. You put a check in the box that you're in, or maybe better yet, put a check in the box that you want to be in. Number 1. Some people hear about Christ's gift of salvation, but they just don't understand it. They scratch their heads. They don't get it. What's the big deal? And I think they don't understand it because they don't understand how they measure up in God's opinion. They're looking and comparing themselves to other people, and they're saying, I'm a pretty good guy. I'm a pretty good gal. I'm at least above the midway point. They don't understand that they're sinners in God's sight. And they don't understand how incredibly gracious God's offer of salvation through Jesus Christ is. And so they never ask. And some of you here at River City this morning just don't get it. Jesus said you wouldn't. But I hope you do. Second group of people are those who hear about Christ's gift of salvation. They receive it with joy. And they take it unto their hearts. I mean, so far so good, right? They're excited. But they're not disciplined. They're not disciplined when it comes to growing their faith. So their faith doesn't establish any roots. It's like planting a tree in your yard without digging a hole first. They don't join a home group, even though every Sunday from the front at River City we say, get in a home group. Get in a home group. You're not going to experience community in a dark movie theater or in a school or anywhere else where more than a dozen people are gathered, so get in a home group. They don't attend worship services regularly. They hardly pray. They hardly read the Bible. And then as soon as trouble or hardship comes along, they quickly fall away. There's no roots. They lose their faith. And if you've been part of this church for any amount of time, you've seen this happen many, many times. Remember, our focus at River City is on reaching those who haven't yet received Christ's gracious gift. Many people come here and quickly they get involved and they're excited and they talk about the difference Jesus is making in their heart and their life. They've got this newfound joy, and all of us who know that joy, we're celebrating with them and we're so encouraged. But then almost as soon as it rises, it falls again, and these people disappear and we don't see them anymore. And it's sad, River City, but it's going to happen because Jesus said it would. And some of you fit in the second category. You're in danger of falling away. You are not living a disciplined life where your faith is concerned. Plant a tree on the top of your yard without digging a hole. It will die. Come to River City Church infrequently, without getting connected to genuine community and following what we say on Sundays, and your faith will die. Your faith will die. Third category. Some people hear about Jesus' gift of salvation and they too receive it, which is great, but somehow they allow the concerns of the world, the head games, take over. And it's like they invite Christ into the car of their life, but they still want to hold on to the steering wheel. They say, okay, Jesus, you can have the passenger seat. Okay? I'd like you along for the ride so you can spot any accidents that are coming up, but I still want to have my hands on the wheel. And it's not that these people are bad. It's not that they're stubborn. It's just that they're distracted. These are distracted people. Some of you are distracted people. Some of you are preoccupied by wealth. You're preoccupied by your careers. You're preoccupied by getting ahead. such that you don't have time for church anymore. You don't have time for a Christian community anymore, let alone being part of a home group. You're putting your priorities in other things ahead of your faith, like ensuring that your kids are in travel sports, and you're running here, there, and everywhere, all over the province, not for one child or two children, but for every child. You're preoccupied with ensuring that your kids have every worldly opportunity. Meanwhile, the grace of God is slipping through their fingers. Many are just addicted to entertainment. We hear this all the time. Maybe we feel this way sometimes. It's too hot and sunny to go to church. Let's go to the beach today instead. It's too rainy and dreary out. Let's sleep in and then go to Friday's Grill for lunch. Again, we see a lot of this at River City Church. It's become a pattern for too many people in this community. And it's sad, but again, Jesus warned us that this would happen. Jesus is warning some of you that this is the path that you're on. You're in grave danger of falling away because you're distracted. That was interesting. The voice from heaven. Number 4, last one, I'm wrapping up here. Some of you hear about Christ's offer of salvation. You understand it. You take it to yourself with joy, and you're maturing step by step as disciples of Jesus Christ, and you end up both A, experiencing the abundant life that Jesus promised. Not every day, but you're experiencing the abundant life that Jesus promised in this life. And B, you're not only being blessed by God, but you're in turn being a blessing to others. And while this church focuses on reaching people who are outside the church, we could not keep our doors open were it not for people in this 4th category. These are the people who make up the backbone of this church. They're the super clean 94-octane fuel that keeps our mission going. And I want to invite you at the end, right now, I'm going to end this, but I want to invite you to watch what I consider to be the most powerful clip in this movie. The woman that you're going to see in this clip has survived battered wife syndrome for years. She's been beaten to within inches of her life on more than one occasion. Her 2 children have grown up only in fear, knowing only violence and abuse from their father. And Ben intervenes and he offers her a new life. He offers her all his money. He offers her his beachfront home on the coast of California. And I want you to watch this clip in one of 2 ways. If you're in that 4th category that I talked about, Jesus refers to as seed that produces a harvest of 40, 60, and 100 times what was sown. If you're a maturing disciple of Jesus Christ, then I want you to view this clip this way. Let's not make Christ's grace cheap. And we all have the tendency to do that if we've been walking and maturing as disciples for a long time. Let this clip be a reminder of the great grace that your great Savior has shown to you.